Female Lawyers Committee of the Uganda Law Society of Uganda, and she has also been a part of the Female Future Uganda Committee as well. She serves on different boards, including the BNI Executive Council globally in the International Board. She serves on the Girls for Girls board as well, and she's also a team leader. She serves on the working group of the Africa List. She serves as a vice president, Rotary Club of Kampala. She serves on the Bless a Child Uganda Home for Children Living with Cancer. She also serves on the Kids of Africa Children's Village. Yes, this one amazing lady building a vision. She's definitely gotten so many including the BNI Emerging Leader 2019, and she has also been awarded, been featured by the New One as one of the most amazing leaders in the country in the top 40 under 40 2008. She has an executive diploma in taxation, and yes, people, this is Diana Ninsima Chibuka, who has also been part and parcel and an amazing contributor to the vision of Girls for Girls. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Stella.
Welcome. Now, this lady that I'm going to read out shortly is the reason why we are here today. The one and only Allen Sophia Asimwe. Allen is the reason why we have Girls for Girls in Uganda, in Africa. Yes, she's about to dance, by the way, so just watch her. She may tell us to dance Zumba in just a bit. Allen Asimwe is the Chief Technical Officer at Trademark East Africa. In this role, she is responsible for the technical delivery of Trademark East Africa's entire project and business competitive and $20 million spanning 12 countries. Allen also oversees the climate change and gender portfolios and leads collaboration with key stakeholders and development partners, including the partner states, DFID, USAID, the World Bank, and the Africa Development Bank. Prior to this, Allen has been a consultant for the African Export-Import Bank, supporting the implementation of the Intra-Africa Trade Initiative, and has served as past CEO of Avid Development, a consulting firm working on key issues of trade, development, and governance in Africa. Allen is a co-founder for Girls, a global mentoring initiative that seeks to empower girls to lead in their spheres of influence. Girls for Girls is now in almost 20 countries globally, 6 in Africa with over 1,900 mentees and 700 mentors. She holds a master's in public administration from the Harvard Kennedy School. She's an Edward Mason Fellow, 2017, and a master's in international business law from the University of Manchester in the UK. Allen, thank you so much for bringing Girls for Girls to Uganda and most importantly, growing it in Africa. You are so welcome. We can't wait to hear your story.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Allen. With us today and our moderator of the day is a lady I call an energizer, the one and only Deborah Komugisha Kakande. This is such an enthusiastic HR specialist with a keen eye in organizational learning and development dedicated to grooming the best talent. Currently employed with the Housing Finance Bank as the HR Development Manager. Her role is to nurture passion and talent. She's also a mentor with Girls for Girls, where she grooms and empowers ladies to understand and apply their purpose in life as they take a seat at the leadership table. Deborah is also a life coach, a mentor, HR trainer, and corporate engagements MC. Deborah is also a mentor in so many spaces in Girls for Girls, Housing Finance Bank, Uganda Breweries, UNRWA, and so many others. And today, this phenomenal lady is going to moderate this session today, and we are about to have such an insightful and powerful session. You're so welcome, Debbie.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody on this call. Hi, Stella. Am I audible there?
Absolutely.
Debbie, yes, you are.
We can
great,
hear you, Debbie.
Great. Yes,
right
very
ahead.
well. Thank you. Thank you, Stella, for that powerful introduction. Ladies, gentlemen in the room, that is our panelists today, very powerful women. They say, if you want to be great, just walk with the great. Let's walk with these great ladies today, understand their vision and see how they built it up. At Girls for Girls, we start by giving each other flowers. Just do this to yourself and say, I am going to enjoy this session. I'm going to have a powerful moment. We are here to learn and to groom each other. Let's groom each other. Okay, I will dive into the gist of the day. I'm here, I'm sure we have questions to be answered. And they say vision is the art of seeing what is invisible. These three ladies had something invisible and they had to work on it. That is the art. They had something invisible that want to know, how did they build it from within? That is simply vision. How do you build from within? And you're going to allow me to go straight because we are catching up with time to our ladies, and I will go straight. The first, it will be an engagement. It's not a Q&A. It's just me to pace them, and they give us their view. Okay, and it will go to Sherry, Alan, and Diana, and we'll start with Sherry. The birth of your vision, Sherry. Tell us your story. The why behind your vision. Please share the story. Why Zimba women? Thank you very much, Sherry.
Hello. I'm trying to start my video. Okay. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Sherry.
Nice to be here. I'm so honored. I'm still reeling from that introduction. Every time someone reads my bio, I'm always in awe of myself also, because I'm like, is it me who has done all of these things? She forgot to say that I was handed my award by Prince Harry. I need all my flowers. So the birth of Zimba Women, the vision, really, it comes from, it was a story, an interaction that I had with a lady. She's called Hanifa. So I met this lady. I remember at that time, it was at Garden City. So I met Hanifa, and she was holding her baby, and she walks towards me. So in my mind, automatically, I see a baby. I see this woman who looks destitute walking towards me. So I assume that she's going to ask me for money. And then she comes, she's like, Nyabo, how are you? You know, the usual. And then she reaches for her backpack. So she had a backpack and she's holding a baby. And she reaches for her backpack and she hands me a bar of soap. So she's like, I make these soaps. They are facial soaps. Would you like to buy one? And I was so impressed. I was so, like, already, I'm a mom. I was a single mom at that point in time. So I was so moved already. I was like, this woman she has not come to me. She has not used the card of pity, like, oh, pity me. I have a child here, things like that. No, she's using her hands. She's making soap. She's doing something, however little it is, out of her life. So from that moment on, I was like, Hanifa, at that point, I had the baby store running then. So I got her soaps. I bought all of them that she had and I put them at the baby store. So I was like, you should not be walking around this baby. The baby was, I think, 3 months old at that time. So I was really moved. I was like, no, there has to be a better way. And at that point in time, my baby store was already online, selling on Facebook. I had my website set up. So I sat with her and I was like, and I was really taking her through this can actually grow. There are so many, I'm sure Bath, the Body Shop, the UK brand, they do a lot of really unique pieces. So that was my vision for her. And I could see that the impact, that little interaction that she had with me, that little chance encounter that it led, the bigness of that small interaction, the impact that it had on her life, that she could sell more because now she was selling these soaps out of my shop. And basically that was the birth story for me. That was the thing that really moved me of, this is something that I want to do for women, especially women who are single mothers, because at that point in time I was one and I was struggling. So that sank the idea of Zimba into my head. And I had a co-founder who was going through a similar challenge at that point in time. And we sat and we said, why don't we make a company out of this? Why don't we, because we were doing this, I would go help my friend who has a bakery, help a friend who has another store. And I was like, let me formalize this and actually make a company out of this, help women who are trading. Let me use IT because I'm a computer scientist, that's what I know. Let me use the skills that God has given me, the knowledge that I have been privileged to have, to help these women better their lives, because I'm all about an empowered women, because you can see the impact already on them. The healthcare for their children is better. They take their children to better schools, their lives. And for me, I'm so passionate about this country. And I feel these little pieces fit together into a better picture for the country that I will have, the country that I will leave for my children. So basically that was the birth of Zimba. So from that little interaction to where we are now, to over 1,000 women physically impacted and over 10,000 digitally impacted.
Wow, flowers for you, Sherry. Honestly, I could feel the passion as you spoke. I think you almost brought a tear down. To help a woman to make the lives of women better, you've impacted more than 1,000 lives. Flowers for you, Sherry. Let's go to Alan. Alan, the birth of your vision. Alan is the founder of Girls for Girls. Tell us why, Alan, Girls for Girls. Thank you very much.
So hi everyone, this is how we greet. Hope you're well. I'm so excited. The sun is shining. There's all the reasons to be bright and cheery today. Surrounded by sisters, truly being sisters keepers. Thank you, Deborah, for that question. So I'm so happy when I see this happening, like the conversations we're having today. This is exactly one of the reasons we started Girls for Girls. And I started Girls for Girls with 8 lovely ladies. I don't know if you can see them. They're on our website from all over the world. We were all pursuing our course at Harvard, the master mid-career masters in public administration. At that point, when you have so many questions, want to find out more answers about life. And many of us were passionate about girls. We each came with a long history of working with women, with girls. I've worked for a long time with women's rights in Uganda, in Africa, you know, in the Feminist Forum in Uganda, Feminist Forum in Africa, trying to get equality for women and to ensure that women are really at the forefront of building their lives and enjoying their lives to the fullest potential. And so when I went to Harvard, just like Zuckerberg and what's the other one's name? Not Bezos, Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, we used to sit in those dingy rooms in Harvard Square, very dingy rooms, you know, little student rooms, and would really be pondering about these questions about how can we change the world. Many of us were running a course called From Harvard to the Oval Office that really empowers girls to run for office. And at that time, Hillary Clinton was running, and I did participate in the campaigns for Hillary Clinton. Like all students would go out canvassing for votes. It was a very good experience. But one of the things that brought us together, we all wanted to make a difference in our countries. But we said, why don't we do it together? Why don't we empower girls with the stories that we have in terms of what we learned at Harvard, not the educational books, trust me, but more about getting the confidence that makes you feel you want to take on the world. You want to wake up and go and challenge all those biases. You want to go and live life to your fullest potential. But we also know the limitations, that not everyone is able to go to Harvard or to such places. And we kept saying, how can we share our own stories? The power of our stories. How can we share our stories with our friends, with our sisters? We initially thought of, just people in our communities, just share our stories and empower girls to gain the confidence. And so in those little rooms in our dorms, we used to live, one of our co-founders, Hala from Iceland, had a room in Akron near Harvard. And then we also had another place at the Harvard Square. Would sit there and deliberate and ponder and just say, how can this program work? And then, of course, we are blessed to have the professors agree to work with us to create this vision, to come up with materials. Because at Harvard, you can do over 1,000 courses, but there were those courses that impacted us, the soft skills. And for me, the difference with what I'm doing now with what I did before, because before I went to Harvard, I used to do a lot of activist work, a lot of marching on the streets, a lot of pushing for law reforms. But I realized that if I can only empower a girl to do it for herself, to push for herself, it actually may be much more powerful for me where I am now. And so that's how Girls for Girls was born, right at Harvard. And now it's in 20 countries, and we are continuing to impact another girl simply by listening to the girls, listening to their dreams. Every single girl around the world has a dream. Everyone, all of you here, 216 on the line, have a dream. And every single one has a roadblock and an obstacle. And for us, we say, if I can share my story with a girl and enable her to take choices that will make her lead her life in a different way or take the right decisions, then I will do that. And hence my sister's keeper. So I'm so happy to be here. And I really hope that we can get as many of you on board as possible. Thank you.
Wow, that's Ellen. When she speaks, you feel like you want to stand up and give her standing ovation. Let's do it when we are seated virtually. Ellen, we're enjoying this because you brought G4G to Uganda, Girls for Girls. We are all on this line enjoying because you brought it. You would have become selfish and said, no way, let's keep it away. You brought it to Uganda. Thank you very much, Ellen. And let's go to Diana. Diana, come on, tell us why the birth of your vision, BNI. Come and share your story. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Debbie. So my story starts from my home. I grew up in a family with many siblings, and we had many extended family members living with us. And I remember my mom always saying, what is important is what's in the heart. And if you have love in your heart, you have enough. It doesn't matter whether the resources are scarce. So as I grew up, I always believed all I needed to do was just help somebody, one person. Maybe it was to give them $1. Maybe it was to give them a word, an affirmation. Maybe it was to help them and walk with them a short distance. So when I joined the legal profession, I used to go out for my clients. And one day I had a client who came in from Nairobi, Kenya, and he was setting up his business in Uganda. And I helped him and went beyond. I went beyond just drafting the legal contracts, but I connected him to people he needed to be connected to. And he told me, he said, Madam, do you know BNI? I said, I don't know BNI. And he said, Business Network International. And at network, I said, no, I don't want to know, because I had never been part of a network. And I thought it was one of those, climbing pyramids. So he said, no, you actually live the philosophy of BNI, which is givers gain. And for me, givers gain is something that had already been taught to me, because I had so many people helping me throughout life. I had answers to my questions. I would get help when I needed it. And I had seen that many people did not have what I had. So I got on a flight, went to Nairobi to experience BNI. And when I got there, I found business owners meeting very early in the morning, 6:30 start. And in the meeting, someone said, I've received money from another member through a business referral for up to 15 million Kenya shillings. And at that point, I turned to my neighbor and I say to them, so how much commission are they going to be paid? And they told me that actually, no, there's no commission paid. It's just that we believe that if we help somebody achieve something in their business, they will in turn help us. I was sold because if you know business in Uganda, there's something called Funirawa, or there's something which people call commission. If I help you, you must scratch my back. And so I believed in a world where we could actually help each other meaningfully through business without any expectation of add-ons. And I came back to start that. And so my first, very first engagement was to tell my close friends about this thing called BNI. And I've been telling people from then on. And that's where my vision was born. Thank you.
Wow, Diana, that was so cool. Give us, receive, give us, gain at BNI, networking. That was great. The integrity with which you have, you build your vision with is awesome. We will chew on that integrity later on as we engage. Now, back to momentum. They say create a vision that makes you want to jump out of your bed on a daily. Momentum. Alan, you already gave us an icing, but come back and give it to us. What drove you into motion to bring your vision to reality? Yes, you had a vision there at Harvard, but what really drove you? What's that momentum that drove you to bring the vision to reality? Thank you, Alan.
Thank you, Deborah. So there's, like Stella said at the start, there's what is in your head, and then there's the challenge of translating that to reality. Anyone who has started something knows that it's a challenge. If you want to set up a bakery, you'll say, I want to do the bakery, but actually getting the shop, starting it becomes a challenge. So of course, as we were coming to graduation, we launched Girls for Girls. Actually, this was the day we launched this exciting day with our Dean of Students. That lady has, the lady in red has a master's and PhDs from Princeton, Harvard, Oxford, like I don't know how many degrees. And she really supported us. And we were so excited. And then reality happens and you're like about to graduate and you're saying, okay, what are we going to, how am I going to do this? Now, I had sent out word to everyone. When we launched, I put on my Facebook, I did a little blog, I think on LinkedIn. And immediately one of my schoolmates wrote to me and said, Alan, I'm so excited about what you're doing. I want you to come and do it. She was a headmistress. I want you to come and do it at my school. Now, because I had put the word out there, you know what you send out to the universe? People believe that. What you send out to the universe actually comes back to you. If you send out positivity, if you send out goodness, it comes back to you. Diana has talked about givers gain. So I sent it out and Jessica Sanyi, who I hope is on here, she's in Kigali now working in Rwanda. She sent back a message and said, I want, my girls need help. I need you to start with me. As lack of fate would have had it, I got a job immediately I graduated. Before I even came to Uganda, I had a job in Cairo. And so I literally came to Uganda for 2 weeks. But in those 2 weeks, I said, okay, Jessica, I'm coming to your school. I'm going to come and talk to the girls. I wrote to a few friends, to my groups. You know, we all have friends, girlfriends and all. I wrote to them and said, guys, I'm starting something. Who will go with me? You remember Jesus Christ? You remember Mohammed? Who will go with me? I'm not saying I'm Jesus, but I just needed help because I was also confused. I had talked about mentoring circles. We're going to do it like this. We have the material, but not written out. So I went and 5 women came with me. 5 sisters, some of them are here. I think Birunji, there was Barbara, Magezi. They came with me. They said, Alan, let's go with you. You know, when you have people who believe in you, people who know what you are, people who know who you are, they came with me. And I want to thank those sisters because they gave me courage. I would not have been able to do it alone. And so we went and we had the first circle. And seeing those girls, that school in Entebbe in Uganda, seeing those girls, talking to them and just sharing our stories, plus for the materials we had, just sharing, you know, stories were under trees, seeing the way they transformed over the time, because I then had to go to Cairo and I would fly in every single month because remember, I didn't want to be ashamed. I had given a word. I'm the kind of person, when I give you my word, I try to deliver on it. I had put out word out there. And then I also kept seeing the change in these girls. These girls come from poor families, single mothers, single parent families. Some have been molested. Some, you know, some don't have the fees to go to school. You people, after 4 sessions, seeing how these girls transformed, because remember it was a pilot. We all agreed, the 8 of us from Harvard, we all agreed, let's go and pilot in our countries. Seeing how these girls transformed as I developed the materials, concretize everything, it gave me the momentum. I'll never forget coming in I would fly in on Friday. I'm having a very hectic schedule in Cairo. I fly in on Friday and I would fly out on Sunday. I would fly in on Friday, greet the kids literally, run to the school to mentor, and then fly on the next flight out to Cairo. But I will never forget the transformation in the girls. And for me, that's where the momentum started. Just seeing that, actually sitting down and not talking at the girls, not talking to the girls, but sitting and talking with them, and also having people, sisters, work with me. It made such a difference. Seeing the way the girls transformed gave us momentum. And before long, more and more sisters started joining me in the meetings. And after that, we then went off. When we decided to roll out across the country in Uganda as a start, and then across Africa, a sister of mine said, Alan, I have loved this formation. She herself, after 2 sessions, was feeling transformed. She said, I want to introduce this to Umeme. It's a company, big company, electrical. And then she also said, I want to introduce it also at my children's school. They're in secondary school, 14, 15. And she said, the girls in this school need confidence. And it's my former school. So when we went there and we saw the change again in the girls over us, you go back 1 month, 2nd month, over a series of months. And we saw how the girls were starting to feel they can control and own the world and own their destiny and march into that destiny. We were so empowered. Like, for instance, at Umeme, where Florence works, within 4 months of finishing this program, 4 girls were promoted. 4 of our mentees were promoted in the organization. We knew we were onto something magical. And so the journey started, the momentum, and we are going. And in Girls for Girls, we have a saying, navigate point to point. Ladies, if you go away with nothing today, learn, gainers, give, navigate point to point, you keep moving, no matter what, keep moving. Thank you.
Whoosh, I could feel the momentum, Alan, as you're speaking. You speak with that energy, the zeal, the passion. Oh my goodness. And at Girls for Girls, we believe in building your village. Alan built her village around her sisters, and here the dream has come true. Thank you very much, Alan. We will not stop thanking you for bringing this into reality. And at Girls for Girls, we also believe that you need to know your purpose in life. What is your why? What is your purpose? Ladies, gentlemen on this call, do you all know your purpose? Write down your purpose. Think about your purpose. And Sherry, take us through. Is there a link between your vision and your purpose? Sherry delivered the vision of Zimba women. Sherry, link between vision and your purpose. Let's go to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Debbie. I think it's a blessing and an honor that I'm just one of those people whose work aligns with my work aligns with my purpose. I believe that our purpose on earth, the rent that we pay for being on this earth, is our service to other people. So really, you don't have to think of it in a highfalutin way that I need to serve 10,000 people like Sherry's doing with Zimba. No. Your service can even be as a housekeeper. Your service is to the people that you're keeping house for. Do that with all the passion and the excellence that you can bring to your job. And in that way, you're serving that household. You're tending to a garden. You're leaving green for the next generations. That is what you've chosen to lead with. And I'm just so lucky that my purpose of service above self, serving especially women, and especially women who have walked my path of single motherhood, is what aligns with my vision of Zimba, that I can use the technology skills that I have, that I can use the skills that I have in business development to help women build their businesses and be better for themselves and for their families, and thus for their country. But your purpose, we tend to think I should have this big purpose, even if your purpose is very bigger than self, and what you're currently doing does not serve. You can find a way that's what you're currently doing to serve that purpose. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sherry. Sherry is so passionate when she's talking about starting from the little, putting all that she has, her knowledge, to build her purpose. She links it with her vision. Members, do you have a purpose? Before you leave this room, answer that question. At G4G, we believe in knowing your why. Why are you on planet Earth? We will continue, ladies. We are doing very well. If you've just joined us, we have a fireside chat. We are around the fire. That's why it's feeling so warm at Girls for Girls. We hold this on a monthly, and we are discussing or engaging and sharing knowledge on how to build your vision from ground to the top. These ladies have shared with us how they started their little vision in their little rooms, little beds, little spaces, and wow, the visions have grown. Okay, I am coming to all of us now. They say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. There's that song. Ellen loves dancing. She could end up dancing. Wait, Ellen, it's not yet dancing time. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Did this notion ever apply to you as you set grounds for your vision? What really keeps you going when it is very tough? Ellen, you are going fast on that. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That tune is ringing in my head. When the going gets tough, and it does get tough. You have that beautiful vision and dream, and Sharifa has talked about. At times we ponder about it's so big. I know at times I'm discussing with Rita Motlana from South Africa. She leads our South Africa group, and I've known her since I think 11 or 12 years old. And at times I tell her, Rita, I'm scared. This thing is so big because we want to reach 1 million girls. We want to reach 10,000 mentors. But at times the vision scares me so much. It's huge. And yet I know we can achieve it because the passion, the commitment, the shared values are there. Now, the going has been tough. I mean, the most recent example is COVID. COVID alone has been a challenge in terms of if you've gone to any of the Girls for Girls sessions, we would dance. We loved celebration. We hug each other. We try to instill that confidence through personal touch, through being together as sisters, because we don't want to believe in that bias that sisters pull each other down. We know there are women who uphold other sisters, and you women are all here. I see many of you saying you love to empower, you love to do this. So when COVID came, you can imagine we were on momentum, on fire. I had just traveled to Zambia. I had just been in Kenya doing training for mentors, in Zambia doing training, and then we had COVID. It needs you to always shift. People always think that if your vision is like this, it has to be stiff and stuck like this. You can actually shift and move your vision as you move along. The way you articulate your vision helps you to do that. So getting stuck is one problem. But the other thing I have found, the going gets tough. For me, I don't look at money. Many of us front money as the problem. I don't have money to start my bakery. I don't have money. But let me tell you, they will even give you 10 million shillings or $10 million, and you will not be able to start that business. The most important thing I have learned is conviction. Being convicted in your purpose, in your vision, being convicted in what you're doing. If it's that bakery, if it's that school you want to start, the conviction, because there are going to be many challenges. But if you're not convicted, you know the parable of the man who went with a horse to buy a donkey with his son, and you keep moving, you keep shifting. Someone comes and tells you this, you shift. One at the beginning when we had just started, I remember we went to Kenya when we were launching in Kenya. We launched at a school called Salama Gashie. It's one of the corner of Kibera, but there's another high density area, what we call slum area, called Salama Gashie. Sisters and brothers, we just know that you have privilege. So many of our kids live in circumstances that are so dire. When we ask these kids what their fears are, their dreams, they all wanted to be an astronaut, a chef, or what. When we ask them their fears, they feared to be keen 18, to be raped, to get pregnant before school. Those were some of their fears. We have privilege. Now, when we're in that school doing the mentoring, I remember some of the mentors said, no. How can we be telling these girls about empowerment when they don't have sanitary pads? But I said, sisters, we are not here to give that aid. Fill your sanitary pad program. It. Girls for Girls is here to empower girls to lead. If I had not been strong, by now we would be distributing pads, would be doing this, would be doing that, because many times we start with a vision, and that's where the alignment between purpose and vision comes in. You start with a vision, but then somehow you get sidetracked. And people are well-meaning. Another one that has come in is people pushing us to go and deal with boys. People keep saying, no. You people, you're wasting time. You're dealing with a girl child and the boy child is not being dealt with. I'm saying, sweethearts, good people, I hear you. I have a girl and a boy. Daniela is on, I think, and George is on. I love them both. They're both teenagers. I believe in both of their power to excel. But I also know that for my daughter, the chances are limited. For instance, if it came to equal pay, if they both went to Harvard today, the boy is more likely to get a better paying job than the girl, in terms of payment, because we know that there are some challenges that still remain in the world. So my vision, my purpose is around empowering girls. But I also know that I need to do something for the boys. Now, I normally tell the people, join us, handle the boys, let us handle the girls. So those are some of the difficulties I've got. It's not about money. Yes, we have not had money. We have run this on our own. The mentors have contributed. But for me, it's never about money. It's about conviction. It's about clarity of purpose and mission. It's about knowing what you want to achieve and really being in it, not being out of it, being in it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Alan. Be in it, be in your purpose, be in your vision. She winds up and says, be in it. Don't be outside, don't be swayed by the wind. I want to put the word focus. Focus on your purpose, on your vision. Okay, Diana, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. What keeps you going? Over to you, Diana. Thank you.
Thank you. So once I got some advice, and the advice was to paint my picture. What do I want to create? Many times when the tough gets going, I'll pull out that picture, I look at it, I ask myself, what do I need to change today? And I make that small change, and I keep the vision very much alive in my head as I go each step. The second thing I do is I'm very present. What can I do today? Not what can I do tomorrow, not what can I do next week, but what can I do today? What connection do I need to make today? Where do I need to go today? What do I need to put together? What proposal do I need to present today? And then I'm very deliberate about asking for help. Why Stella calls me a super connector is because I bring everyone in my village from different spaces together, and I bring them together and say, can you help on this? And you find people are willing to help us, take a small load off you as you build onto the bigger picture. The most recent transformation for me was in that Nancy Cohen, who is a professor from Harvard, the Harvard Law, I think Business School, and she's a historian who studied leaders from over 100 years. And she says the one thing about leaders, when they face tough times, when the going gets really tough, they just have to hold themselves enough not to fall through the cracks, not to fall through the cracks of the floorboard that is, that tough moment, and then just get the courage to take the next step. So that's what I tell myself. Don't fall through the cracks, take the next step. And what is the next step? I begin defining that based on my vision so that I don't lose my way as I get to where I want to go. Thank you so much.
Wow, Diana, good at growing villages. Take the next step. I take that. They actually say, take a step of faith. This is your vision, you're building it. Take that step, it will take you to the next place. These are ladies, but they're telling us when the going gets tough, get going. All of us online, I'm sure we've had those tough moments. Some of us are still carrying our visions like babies. Some of us started and they're there. It became tough. COVID came. It's part of the toughness. But let's take the next step. All right, Sherry, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. How have you kept going on, Sherry, with your vision? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Debbie. Zimba is now, we're entering our 6th year next year. So we've been here for 5 years. And of course, like a startup, we are a business making entity. So there's been a lot of moments where it was really, really hard paying staff, paying incidentals, rent, all of those things, actually having the company continue. So there's been a lot of tough moments, doing things which are not being funded. For me, I always go back to my why I started this company. And like Alan said, it's not really about the money. The fact that I can do what I'm doing for free. It's not that I'm doing to be rewarded in applause, in fellowships, in all of that. That is all secondary. For me, every time I meet a woman who's like, I attended your events and I got a job, we shared something and we got funding. Our company has now grown. I have one of my favorites, the ladies in Zimba, who has grown from just a few product lines to now she has a factory, 2K. So when I hear things like that, that is what keeps me going. There are some things that I break down and I say, okay, I have to continue. My thing is I will not quit. Like how people like saying here, if I die, I die. This is the thing. This is my baby. I am going to see it grow wherever it goes. I'm going to do it and pass it on to the next person who will then carry on Zimba. And there are three things that I really stick to. If I'm facing a tough situation, I go back to my why, like I said. Then I explore widely, look for solutions, look through my network. Like Diana said, I am also such a good networker. I look to my village. I don't die with situations alone. I ask Alan, I ask the several mentors that I have, even my mentees. There's someone who could be your mentee who has a solution for a problem that you're going through. There are so many times that women in our cohorts, women that we're helping have come and said, oh, there's a company here that has funding for something that you guys are running. And that's something that could elevate us. Or they find us a client, something like that, and that takes us for another month or so. Find out what's possible from all the solutions that you've explored. After that, sample all the different ideas that are available to you. There are so many things that we've gone through. We've done digital marketing. We've built websites. The World Bank, we built a website for the World Bank. We are currently doing another website for another UN agency. And yet we do training. So find so many things that maybe this is a thing that will work. Maybe if we do digital marketing for our SMEs, maybe if we partner with Deloitte, can we partner with an education company? Can we partner with an NGO? Can we partner with MTN? Things like that. I explore really, really widely, and then focus on the best of all of those things that you've come up with. So now in our exploration, we have found that our training is really, it's the, how do they call it? The gravy in the sauce. It's what really makes us tick as Zimba, our business development training. And we're really focusing on growing that out, growing a really huge training arm of the company on top of the digital marketing and the web development and the IT tech support that we offer to many companies. Then finally, like I said, don't quit. That's the one thing that I carry with me. I will not quit. Yeah, and that's what gets me through the tough times.
Whoosh, that is a Sherry from Zimba Women, building women. Zimba means building in the English language. She's building women. Zimba Women. Wow, she says, do not quit. If you haven't taken the others of options, explore, just take the last one. She said, please do not quit as you build your vision from the ground to take it up. Do not quit. Explore. There are so many options for you. There are solutions out there for us. All of us who are building visions and we feel the going is really, really tough. Do not quit. The girls at the fireside are telling us today. Okay, we go on. I hope we're enjoying. Grab a cup of tea at the fireside. You can pick anything. Is it a chocolate? COVID times, pick something that will make you happy as we proceed with our engagement. Okay, let me go over to you, Diana. Diana, when you're selling your vision, you get rejection. How do you get to handle this rejection? You get rejected, you go to your friends, you go to networks, and you're rejected. How do you handle this rejection, Diana? Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Deborah. So I think the first thing that I found about rejection is I found that I had to separate the feeling that the rejection of my vision, of my dream, is a rejection of me as a person. Some people are just not ready to come on board and be part of the dream. Some people are not, don't share the same values. And so there's no reason why I should expect them to come on board 100%. For those of you who may not fully understand what Business Network International is, every week we have business owners meeting in the morning to help each other grow their businesses. And I have found that as I share with people what it means, the way that I'm able to overcome the sense of rejection when someone says, oh no, this is not for me now, is I look back, as Sherry was saying, at the stories of the many members who have benefited from BNI. I have seen schools come up, schools that are actually supporting education in this country. I have seen people move from home bathroom garages making soaps and candles to having a full fledged line of you know, fragrance goods and really making it big out there. I've seen businesses born, and those businesses have done work in the Parliament of Uganda, all because I started telling people to come together and meet. The second thing that I focus on, and this was taught to me by my former boss, she told me that there's no harm in asking, because if you ask and you don't get an answer or you're rejected, it's the same position, you're in the same position as when you hadn't asked. So what do you have to lose? And I remember when I was applying for university for my master's, I applied and got into 4 very good universities, but they were not offering me scholarships. And she encouraged me, she said, you know, apply to the next. And I applied to the next, which was Cambridge, and I got in and I got a scholarship. So you can imagine if I had stopped at the 4th and felt that I'd been rejected and could not go on. And the last thing I do is when I face rejection, is I celebrate the small wins. Yes, I may not be able to have changed the landscape yet of Kampala, but 31 billion is not something small, and the stories behind that 31 billion are significant. So I'm able to move on in the face of rejection. Thank you.
Wow, there goes Diana. Don't take it personally, even if you're rejected, but please ask. Go ahead and ask. If there's something you want to ask, if there's something you want to sell out, if it's an idea, go ahead and do it. I have an interesting friend who says, at times I fear doing something, but when I go ahead and do it, I do not die. You do not die. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and face the rejection. You will not die. But remember, take that step and do not quit on your vision. Okay, let's go to Alan. Alan, come on. What's your view on resources as you're building your vision, on relationships, on the support system? Resources, relationships, and support system as you build your vision. Thank you.
I love this question. I love this question. So I come from a family of girls. Mostly, we are from my immediate family. We are 5 girls and 1 boy, but then I also have half brothers and sisters. So we are 10 kids. I think 7 are girls. So I come from a strong family of powerful, driven women. That is my first part of sisterhood. When you talk about resources, for me, by that, I never go straight to money. I talk about the people you work with. So I believe so much in sisterhood. When I look, and then beyond just my immediate family, I have sisters who have cultivated all the last few years. You meet girls and young women, they want to start something. They say, I want to start a bakery. And they don't realize that if you actually partnered with someone, it will help. At Harvard, I've met other sisters. Izana Saleh from Malaysia is on call right now. She's one of the co-founders. We became sisters. We even gave her a name. She's from Malaysia. We called her Chichoncho. Chichoncho, she calls it Chikongo, Chichoncho, gift. She's a gift to us. I believe in the power of sisterhood, in the power of your village. For you to achieve your vision and dream, you need people. Let me tell you, this sisterhood has grown. Deborah, I've not met you, but we talk like we are sisters. You get it? Because I know there is goodness in everyone. And I know that if I'm to achieve what I want to achieve, the more hands I have, the better. If you look at the leadership we have in Girls for Girls now, just in Africa, we have Rita in South Africa, we have Belinda in Zambia, Belinda Chanda, my sister, we even have shared a bed, you know, because of sisterhood. We met at Harvard. She's now like, she's in my family. She has come home. I've been to Zambia. I've been to her family. When I wanted to start in Zambia, she said, Alan, I'll open my entire network to you. She's based in Bangladesh, but she has opened her entire network in Zambia, and I can see Penny and others online. Then you go to people like Stella, who I just met recently, but now she's more than a sister. You go to Niger, I've seen someone from Chad. For me, the biggest resource is sisterhood and the power of the collective. Diana always laughs because I use that a lot. Sisters, if you have a vision, if you have a dream, ask yourself, who are the 5 who will go with you? Who are the 5 who will support you to achieve this vision? And for me, I'm so blessed and proud of and happy that I have sisters. From Annette in Kenya who said, Alan, I want to start, to Zimbabwe, to Zambia. Everyone has come up and said, we share your vision, we share your value. So for me, that is one of the biggest resources. Other resources come and go, but the power of the collective, the power of sisterhood, the power of people on the table is critical. One of the other things that has also helped us, I think, has been the power of our materials. We have materials, and we are not stopping there. We have mentors guides. You can see we have mentees guides. This is a mentees guide. That's how the circles normally work. We have created materials. We have a whole faculty that is with us at Harvard. They have helped us create materials. I think that has also been a powerful resource, because these professors have taught subjects on issues that they have researched for hundreds of years, issues of leadership. What does it mean to get women in leadership? You know, the soft skills, the art of communication. How do you speak? How do you get your message across? Power to negotiate our space. You've been given that board position. You've been given that C-suite position. What are you saying at the table? Because it doesn't matter if you're at that table and you're not saying a thing. We don't just want numbers, we want action. So for me, the resources have been the sisterhood. I would never do this alone. I cannot clone myself. I cannot be in Niger right now. I cannot be on any given weekend. We have, I don't know how many circles happening. I cannot be in South Africa. Rita has taken that vision. It's now hers. Belinda in Zambia, it's her vision, because we share values. So those are some of the resources I would want people to look at. Don't front money. Don't put money at the side. Even for business, the principles work across. Even for BNI, Diana will tell you, it's these things of who is working with you to achieve your vision. You want to start that clinic, you want to start that school, who is working with you? They don't have to give you money, they can give you ideas, they can give you guidelines and that kind of thing. So the power over your village, you can write down now, who is in your village, not the people you'll go to dance with in the nightclub, not the people, they are good, they're important, not the people you'll go to eat with on Saturday, not the people you'll gossip with. We all need a good friend to gossip with, but the people who will work with you to achieve your vision. Who are they? Ask yourself, whether it's your bakery, your clinic, your school, your practice, your law firm, who are those people who will support you? Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Alan. The power of sisterhood. She has mentioned the sisters on the call from the different countries. Wow, we are glad to have everybody on the call. Who are the five that you'll go with? She mentioned it. Who are the five that will help you to grow? I am so glad that in my five.
Let me talk about my sisters as well, my personal sisters, and my sisters like Anita in Sudan, who will look after my children when I'm not around. When I went to Harvard, sisters actually took up my children. Anita, Diana, Rachel, Florence, they took my children as their own. They looked after them. Don't forget those ones. They are very critical. Those ones who will help you if you want to go for your master's. They will engage your family. They will support you. You need those sisters as well.
Wow, and someone there is saying she never knew sisterhood until they met you, Alan. Thank you very much for that gift. Alan gives us an assignment. Write down the 5 people in your circle, in your village, who will help you move on. Who are those people? And at G4G, we laugh about it. Do you have elephants in your circle, or you have chicken? And I'm going to leave you with that question. Do you have elephants or chicken in your circle? It is exactly 1 hour into our session. I am going to call in my co-moderator to take us in the chat room. I'm seeing a lot of fire in the chat room. Where is Stella? Stella, I call her my energizer. Energizer, come on, take us to the chat room.
Debbie, you have taken over in the energy front. My goodness, people are saying they're fired up in the chat room. And guess what? This is Zoom in the chat room, but we are also live on YouTube, and the excitement is real. Debbie, one of the things people are saying in the chat room is that they didn't know you have this energy, so you should bottle it and sell it to some people. Yes, very, very exciting things. We are joined by ladies all the way from Uganda, Zambia, Australia. We have Barbara from Australia. We have Murunji from Japan. We have South Africa, UK. Elizabeth is saying she's just logging in for the first fireside chat all the way from the UK. You're welcome. We have Belinda from Bangladesh. We have Cameroon, Sadia from Cameroon. We have Izana from Malaysia. We have Kenya. I can't mention Kenyans, Ugandans. You are the majority, yeah? And South Africa, thank you so much. If I have not mentioned your country, please put it in the chat room. I will capture it. But it's very interesting, Debbie. When we asked about passion, people have passions. The only thing is that they are just fearful of executing these visions. We have people passionate about sport, we have Hadija, who's actually an international volleyball referee. Can you imagine? So in that space, she can build a vision. We have people passionate about personal growth, education, women and youth. We have people who want to grow other people's potential. We have people passionate about women in science and STEM. Women empowerment are like so many women are passionate about women empowerment. We have people passionate about child protection, traveling. Damali is saying she's a traveler by choice, mental health issues, and so on and so forth. From our panelists, the highlights have been the following. Givers gain from Diana. If you want something, first of all, give, all right? And it will come flooding in. And then you have Alan talking about navigating from point to point. You may not see the vision clearly right now. You may never know how big it can be until you get to the next point. Just like climbing a mountain, you only see clearer when you go up, right? And then Sharifa, the combination between passion and purpose really resonated with so many people. When we were talking about how not to fall through the cracks, so many things have resonated with the people online, and they have said that they have captured that power of focus is imminent in terms of not giving up. Why did you start? Going back to your why. And that's Sherry who said, going back to your why. When you feel like giving up, go back to the beginning and ask yourself, why did I start this? So thank you so much for giving us that tip. And then Diana talking about celebrating the small wins. It's very interesting, as many times as women, we never take time to celebrate ourselves. Moses Mukisa always says that schedule your good times because bad times have schedules themselves. So make sure you schedule the good times. So celebrate yourself, take yourself out for coffee, pat yourself on the back, and just know that you're not where you're supposed to be, but you're not where you used to be, isn't it? You have made a milestone. So thank you so much, Diana, for that. And then Alan talking about don't die in your own movie. Find 5 people who can work this vision building with you. Power of the collective. And it comes back to the Girls for Girls principles. We keep on talking about the power of your village. If you've had nothing in this fireside chats, we always talk about your village. From the first one to the 5th one and to the 50th one, you will hear this statement, power of your village. So over to you, Debbie, as we get to the next section. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much, Stella. You remind me that don't die in your own movie. We will not die. As Girls for Girls, we are here for each other. We will not die in our own movies. All right, we proceed. The ladies are sharing. People are showing what they've learned in the chat. I'm so excited. Ladies, let's explore the hindrances you encountered, the risks you took in growing your vision, and how you overcome them on a daily. What are those hindrances? What are those risks in growing your vision? And Diana, I come to you. Take us through that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Debbie. So the first issue was that I got pregnant halfway in my journey to build my vision. And it was pregnant 5 months after my first baby, so I was very excited. But my vision meant that I was up at 5 a.m. and in meeting rooms by 6:30, and I would be explaining to a predominantly male audience how business can be better if you build relationships and believe in the giver's gain philosophy. There were times I doubted myself, and there were times when waking up was really hard. But again, what I bought into, what I dug deep into, was the fact that I had physically experienced, I had heard with my own ears somebody say 15 million Kenya shillings, and there was no commission being paid. So I said, if I can just start one chapter, that will be enough for me. And so the chapter was launched, I think, in April, and I gave birth in, it was launched in May, and I gave birth in June. So that for me was one mountain I had to overcome. But the other one, and the key issue, was the concern that I was bringing people together into a space. Traditionally, the word network was not a positive reference when it came to businesses. So I had to deal with a bias that people thought it was a pyramid scheme. I also had to deal with the fact that apart from visiting a chapter in Nairobi, I was telling people that, you know what, I have conviction that if we believe this philosophy, if we believe these values, we will win. And I had to overcome just changing people's minds. And how I did that, I focused on the values of the organization that I was sharing. And I found that values draw people together. Values are the glue that hold groups together. And what I kept sharing were the values, the positive attitude, value which I believed in, the value of givers gain, the value of building relationships and continuous learning. And time after time, people came in, they experienced, they bought into the story. They bought into the story that I told passionately, and they signed on. And that hindrance was largely overcome, I must say and emphasize, by the fact that I started with people who trusted me. I had built relationships with accountants, tax advisors, business owners, and these are the first people who believed. They say, Diana, we don't understand what you want us to do in this room, but because of you, we believe. And when they came on board, they brought their friends, and those friends brought their friends, and those friends brought their friends. And today we have a village of over 100, about 150 members. And the last thing that I will say is I must tell the story. I moved from hotel to hotel because B and I, when we were meeting physically before lockdown, used to meet in hotels. I moved from hotel to hotel looking for space for hosting meetings. And I saw senior managers and none of them believed in me. At that time, I was 33 years old and I looked young and nobody believed in me. And I said, 6:30 a.m., nobody will come. Who do you want to attract? Nobody will believe you. They told me no one will believe you and no one will come. No Ugandan will wake up at 6:30 and show up. Maybe if it's in Kenya. Yeah, Kenyans are hardworking, not Ugandans. But I remember I met, he was a restaurant manager. He's called Patrick. And he said, Madam, what are you doing in this hotel? And I explained to him. And then he said, Madam, let me take you to the general manager and I speak for you. And he lent me his credibility. He lent me his clout. And he took me into the general manager's office and I was able to engage with the general manager. So that's one thing that I found worked for me, tapping into people who already trusted me and then tapping into other credible people who would open doors for me and with whom I would walk into that space and almost have an immediate ear. But apart from that, it was, you know how you're going up a mountain, but it felt like I was climbing up a wall. And the biggest risk I took is that I left my job and I actually had an offer with one of the big tax practices in one of the big 4 audit and tax firms. And I was stuck at that point of, I had always had this dream of working in a tax firm, tax practice, and I had this vision, which was not even concrete in my mind, BNI. And so the biggest risk I took was quitting my job, turning down the offer of my dream job to a top tax practice, and actually starting this thing which nobody knew and nobody could relate to at that time. Thank you.
Wow, interesting, Diana. She brings in the risk of just leaving her job when she had a good offer that she always dreamt about, simply to build her vision. How many of us can take on that? And as women, we always say, oh, I'm pregnant, I'm expecting, I can't take on anything. She did that. Diana, kudos to you. That was great, that was great. Sherry, the hindrances, the risks you've taken, come take us on. Thank you very much.
Wow, I'm still in awe of Diana's story. I've never heard it. So it's really moving and reminds me a lot of my story. So hindrances, because mine is basically a business and has a bit of a non-profit angle, the social impacts. There's limited funding for a lot of the work we do. So we needed funding to scale. You can, of course, no one is going to invest in you if you're not doing anything already. And that's the first thing that I'd like people to take away from this, that you have to have some skin in the game. If you're saying I'm passionate about women, what have you done? You're not going to go and tell people I am passionate about women. And that's what has happened since then. I'm passionate about baking. Have you baked a single cake? Have your friends and family tasted these cakes that you're passionate about baking? So there has to be some, because funding, money flows to value. It doesn't flow to ideas. There, and anything that you have thought of, ideas a dime a dozen. Money flows to implementation. So you have to have done something. There has to be your own personal skin in the game. Say I have invested 100K in this thing. Let me at least now start looking for more money. But you can't just come up with your idea and say, oh, I have an idea to do this. No, no one is going to fund that. No one is going to pay attention to that. You have to have some sort of working proof, some value that you are showing. So funding was a big hindrance. We started, and we were lucky really to have people who believed in the vision almost as much as we did. Me and my co-founder. The first person who funded Zimba was, I say person, but it was Facebook Africa. And it was from my meeting with Ebele, the head of public policy for Africa, and explaining to her what we were doing at that time in Uganda and how women were using Facebook, not only just as a social platform, but to trade, to meet, to interact, to share stories, to sell. They're selling everything from land to matoke. Everything can be bought on Facebook. And that was early times. That was 2015. So for her, it blew her mind that we're building this sort of community and using a platform that was just a social platform for more than just socializing. And because I provided that value, she was really quick to buy into that idea and fund us. But most of the hindrances that we faced, of course, funding, and like Alan says, the village, the people who are around you. I've been lucky to have people who have, in many cases, even believed in this vision more than I have. You find the people who will follow you. There are people who have followed this company and have believed in it even more than we who founded it. Like, they're like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing, why haven't you reached out to this person for funding? Alan, for example, reaching out to me saying, why aren't you doing a G4G circle at Zimba? So having your village has really, the village that I have has really helped me daily to overcome any insufficiencies, any encumbrances, hindrances that I face. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharifa. She has that poise there that keeps you moving. Sharifa is in the business environment, and she says her hindrance was funding. But did she stop? No, she kept going. She believed. She had a little basis. She got people to support her, and she kept moving. Sherry, thank you for taking that step with the village around you. Most of us give excuses like funding, like time, like knowledge around building our vision. Here we are, the ladies are challenging us. You can still do it. Thank you very much. Alan, I come to you. Hindrances and the risks you took in bringing G4G to life. Come and take us through. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I want to shine the candle on me as a person. Now, I just want to first start by saying I'm not the Virgin Mary. I'm not Saint Alan. We are human beings. So with all the failings, you've heard of women saying, oh my God, how do I balance? I have all those failings as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, as a chief technical officer. On the other side, remember, I have to have at my job, I have to put 40 hours minimum to actually deliver a program. This financial year, we had to deliver $80 million program. And I'm leading a big chunk of leading that portfolio. So I just don't want to say that someone is saying you're a superwoman. I don't want to say, we normally want to canonize women and we put ourselves up there as saints or as Virgin Marys or something. No, I am not any of those. I'm just a woman with a passion and a vision. And I just like to have fun. And I want to see sisters, I hate injustice. I want to see sisters live to their full potential. So I want to first put the spotlight on me, even on you. Wherever you are, you want to start something, put the spotlight on you. So some of my weaknesses that I've seen, that I want to look at hindrances, not from the outside, but from me. I have this passion. But as Diana always tells me, I am like the sun. I shine so much. In fact, my friends call me sunshine. I'm so bright. I love dancing. But I always also expect others to fall in. Now, some people are different. You've seen Diana. She talks like this. She's calm. Me, I shout. I'm literally like shouting, dancing. I just am like, so like full of energy. But Diana is always quick to tell me, Alan, your power, your passion, your sunshine also burns. You have to be careful the flame doesn't get too hot. Now, one way in which I could almost want to burn is in the issue of perfection. When we started Girls for Girls with Izana and the rest, we had this vision. We didn't know really how it would be. I must admit that at the beginning, it was not a clear vision. We knew we wanted to mentor, how to mentor, but we didn't know how it would look like. And until I went with Florence to Berlin to the Impact Hub, that's when I started having clarity. But when I talk about perfection, so you'll come, Stella, Diana, who are the country leads for Uganda, have spent an time, they are tired, they have worked, you know, you can mentor in Uganda. Uganda has the biggest mentoring circles, and followed by South Africa, Kenya, and some of the other countries. Now, when you come in and you find they have been working, and then you're telling them, oh, but why didn't you do it like that? Or why didn't you do it like this, you know? So I have to always see how I couch myself. That perfection can wait. As I said, move step by step. Let me give you an example. Many times people start their business. You will start your bakery. You'll start your clinic. You'll come in and say, why didn't you do the things how I wanted it? I wanted the cake baked like high like this. People start walking away. People start leaving you. They say, okay, if you feel you're the best, you do it. You do it. You clone yourself, you know? So now I'm saying we cannot clone ourselves. We cannot expect everyone to be us. Let everyone shine in their own way. See how Stella is shining on Fireside. She decided, we were at the board meeting, she said she's starting Fireside. See how she's shining. See how Diana shines. See how Belinda and Namchana are doing their thing their own way in Zimbabwe, in Zambia. See how Rita is shining in her own way. Let them shine in their own way. We are different. So for me, that's one of the things I always try to stop myself from burning with my flame. The other one that Diana has talked about, Sherry has talked about, and I want to leave it with you sisters, the issue of values. Deborah, imagine you say, guys, you're in HR, you say, guys, I'm going to set up an HR consulting firm and this, and yet people know you are different, Deborah. If you're not who you are, and we're going to include a topic, Rita and I are working on a session called Authentic Leadership, the authentic you. And I want each of you to ask yourself, who are you in the dark? Who are you when no one is watching? Write it down. Who are you? Because it is those values. It is not Zuckerberg's millions that will save you. It's not money from out there that will help you propel. It is your values. Your values. I have my own values of hard work. I have my values of, I'm very passionate about injustice. I hate injustice. Anyone who knows me knows that. You know, people will, even when I'm not there, people will say the same things about me. I left the organization I work with for 3 years. I went away, studied, went to Cairo, came back, and they offered me a job. And I asked them when I went back, I said, why would you give me a job again? Why would you bring me back? And the staff, they told me one thing. They said, Alan, you're objective, you're fair, you listen. I mean, it was so heartwarming. Who are you when no one is watching? Your values will help you drive your vision. Your values will help you move the next step forward. Thank you.
Wow. And then leaves us with a question. I've written it down. Who are you in the dark? Who are you in the dark? Someone wrote that they are so scared in the dark. The dark we are meaning is when you are alone, no one is watching. Who are you? As you grow your vision, ladies and gentlemen on the call, you need to have values. Very important. Values, all of us should have values. And they are different. We are different. True indeed, Alan is sunshine. She burns, she warms, she does it all. Thank you very much, Alan. And I like the angle she has taken of looking at hindrances from within. At times, you only want to look at the outside. What are the weaknesses within you that you can identify that could block you from growing that vision that you have? Thank you very much. You said you shout. You don't shout. You simply speak in capital letters and continue speaking that way, my dear. It brings warmth to the people, to the villages around you. Okay, I come to you, Sherry. Sherry, share with us the sacrifices you have made for success. What sacrifices have you made as you're building Zimba Women? We said Zimba in English means building. She's building women. She's
bringing women together for a good cause. Sherry, what are those sacrifices you've made?
Like I said before, Debbie, thank you. You're doing such a great job moderating. I love it. Like I said before, I'm really lucky and honored that my work really aligns with my purpose, with my vision, with as an individual, I embody the work that I am doing. So I haven't had to say, let me say I quit my job I found a way to make my computer science work with business development. So I didn't have to quit, let's say I changed career or things like that. But of course, I've had a sacrifice in terms of time. That one I will not lie, because you're spread so thin. There's only one Sherry, and there's only so much that I can do as a startup owner. So you're running a business that is really growing. We have now 8 full-time people. So there has been a sacrifice on time for family, time for my friends, time for my child. And time it's of such great value, because that's the only finite resource that we have. You can always make money. You can always, I don't know, but time is something that you can't get back. If you're going to miss someone's birthday, if you're going to miss someone's wedding because you're at a training somewhere, you're at an event, you've traveled out of the country, that's not going to come back again. Yeah. So that's one thing. And it's just that I am lucky to have a village that really holds me up and covers in the gaps that I am not able to be there. And that is the way I've found peace with the sacrifice of time.
Thank you very much, Sherry. I like your voice all the time. She has sacrificed time. It could be the people around her, the people who love her, the people she loves. She's not had time for them. But again, she brings us to the village. There's a village that helps those people when she's not there, when she has sacrificed people in her life. But there are people to help her. At G4G, we believe in the power of the village, the power of sisterhood again. Will help you when you're making those sacrifices. Ladies and gentlemen, I know we are burning with questions. We want to ask these ladies a lot. Any burning questions, throw it in the chat, and we are going to pick it from there before we get into question and answer session very briefly. But before we go there, Diana, chase the vision, not the money. Work for a cause, not for applause. What's the cause behind your vision? You're working for a cause, not even applause. You don't need anyone to clap. It is for a cause. Share with us that cause, Diana, in a minute. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So before I share, I must tell you the story of my mom's shop. My mom had a duka called Gava Supermarket, if you live on Gava Road. And we moved there when I was about S2, 15 years, about there. And I used to work in that shop. So I used to sit and sell milk, sweets, bread, etc. And over the years, I saw the power that that shop gave my mom, but even more importantly, I saw the transformation it caused for her family from the village and my dad's family from the village, because it created employment. That small shop was able to give us money to pay school fees. That small shop was able to pay for people to get training in different courses, relatives, and continue to support my father when he went into politics and after politics. And what I realized is that when a business thrives, I remember sitting and literally counting out dirty 1,000 shilling notes as people bought one mandazi, one sweet, and at the end of the day, we would walk up the hill to our home with 500,000, a very successful sale of very successful sales. But what it meant for me is that the power that one small business has is phenomenal, and we cannot even begin to express it. So I relate to Sherry when she says that she just was able to help that one woman sell her soap, and that woman's life changed. So in BNI, every day I see business owners move from survival to thriving, and the power that creates for their immediate community and their extended community is powerful. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we all talk about empowerment, but when there's poverty, there is a very, very high chance that rights are going to be abused, and that there's no empowerment, that there are no voices to speak out. But when we empower people by giving them financial access and means to grow that muscle, you see businesses growing, but even more importantly, the untold story of the transformation that it causes in the communities. So that's my cause. I'm changing Uganda's way of doing business, one business at a time, and we're going to succeed because there's so much power in the collective, as Alan says.
Wow, interesting, Diane. And it takes me back to what you had said, that who would wake up at 6 a.m. in Uganda, and they told you no one would. Changing the way we do things in Uganda, people, we must rise and change this. That is not a good one, but with the ladies here, with gentlemen joining it, we are changing Uganda, one business at a time, one step at a time. I really want to give the question some good time. So ladies, I'm going to take us through one more moment, and I will go over to Stella to take us through the questions that we have from the audience that people really want to ask and understand and grow their vision. And then let's explore the pillars you have hinged on. I think you have hinted on this question over and over. I am changing it from you. What got you here will not get you there, Alan. Apologies. Let me give you something else. What got you here will not get you there. 10 years from now, what's your strategy? Alan, your strategy 10 years from now. What got you to get G4G here is not going to take you to the next place. Share with us your strategy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really learning a lot as well from my sisters, Sherry. These are both my mentees actually, and sisters, but I'm also learning so much. So in Girls for Girls, we believe a lot in reverse mentoring. You go in as a mentor, you get back so much. So one of the things we do as Girls for Girls, our goal, I will need to emphasize this. We are not just about positional power. Our mantra is leadership is personal, it's not positional. Who are you away from that title? Who am I away from the Chief Technical Officer of Trademark? I'm a woman, I have my dreams, my values, and things that I do. Because when the title is stripped away and you're left with nothing, who are you? And it goes back to who are you? So one of the things I've learned to do is reinvent myself. In fact, when you go to my LinkedIn or what, people say, oh, she's a human rights person, oh, she's this. But at the core of everything I do is my passion and power for women's empowerment and women's rights. One of the things we've had to do is to really define what empowerment means. We have defined it beyond just being positional, and we want to have the numbers. We want to never be a time when there's no girl say when you have a position for board and people say, oh, I have no girls to give you. You want someone to go into a C-suite. Oh, there are no women who are capable. They are capable women. We are just finding them and ensuring that they are visible and they're out there. So that's the first thing. But the second thing, we are talking about empowering girls to lead, to make a difference in their lives, wherever you are. There's a story of a young lady whose husband died. She was a widow in her 30s and she didn't know where to go. There were no support systems. After Girls for Girls, she has set up an organization for young widows. And there are so many stories like that. The other day we had a girl who did a blood bank drive and she managed to get 200 people to contribute blood to save 200 lives in Uganda. So every day we are hearing these stories of women who are making a difference. That is what we want. Without the position, you can still make a difference in your life, apply for that job, go for that interview, that interview and all. Now, if I look at 10 years, we had targeted 1 million girls. We have targeted girls taking action and changing the world. That is the leadership we want. Not this leadership where we see our aggressive leaders in power and all. We want that leadership of people who care for people who want to make a difference. I see us maintaining those core vision, that core aspect of our vision. But the way we go towards it is going to change. We are actually right now going through a phase of revisiting our vision, our purpose, how we do things, how we engage. And next Sunday, 20th, the leaders from all around the world, we have country leads in 20 countries plus, and then we have all the others who also support and lead that country. We are meeting to recast our vision. We did our survey, and I can already tell you some of the things are holding dear, but the way we are going to achieve them is going to change because like everyone right now is doing, we have to repurpose. We have to pivot and repurpose our organization to be fit for purpose for the next decade. So 2030, here we come. Excited.
Wow, 2030. She says reinvent yourself in your vision. Don't keep on the same lane. Change, build it, make it more outward, make it more attractive. What else are you looking for? The vision keeps the same, the purpose, but how are you building it? Reinvent yourself. Wow, I'm learning so much from here. I'm reinventing myself already. Wow, 10 years from now, Sherry, tell us, what do we see? What do we get to see at Zimba Women? What strategy are you going to use 10 years from now, 2030? Thank you. Is Sherry on?
Sorry, let's
Mute. Sorry, I was muted. I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, Debbie. Like I was saying, our vision for Zimba for 10 years was to have 5 million women online, trading actively online, using the internet as their primary source of, let's say, hosting of their businesses. And unfortunately, we didn't hit that goal. And then came COVID in 2020. And now it has done a good job of educating everyone why they need to be online, have a digital presence for their businesses. So we're still working within that timeline. We've extended that timeline to 2020 to have 5 million women, majority of those Ugandans. So far, we have so many women being onboarded onto the Zimba mat. We are now running up to 100 almost women vendors trading actively on the Zimba mat. My strategy to get to these 5 billion women trading online, of course, my village is what I'll look at first. Who are the partners that I have? Who are the people supporting this vision? Who are the people who believe that in 2030, we are going to have an Amazon, we are going to have a Shopify that is running out of Uganda, that is led by women, that is hosting women vendors. So who is in my village who can support that strategy, who believes that this is where Africa is going, trading digitally? Allen is one of the critical partners with Trademark. And then, of course, what has the values and the things that we have done to get us to 10,000? We have to sit down and really think critically. The partners, we have new partners on board currently. We have Mastercard, alhamdulillah, that has come on board with their Young Africa Works program to get 10 million youth in Africa into employment, and we are part of that vision. So, and that goes back to what I'm saying, my village propping me up and helping me get my vision in place. And of course, sitting down, setting strategy, sitting with our board as Zimba and driving that. Thank you, Debbie.
Wow. Thank you, Sherry. Sherry, going digital. She's one of the people who enjoy that they've learned in this COVID era. Me too, I'm enjoying COVID. I have learned some things. It has opened us up. Who else is enjoying COVID? Not the bad way, but the good way. What good thing have you picked out of all this season? And she says she'll build with her village. She will go with her village who believe in the dream, in the vision, and in the purpose. We are here to see 2030, a better time at Zimba Women. Diana, paint a big picture of your vision. What do we hope to see 10 years from now? Bring us that paint. Is it the colors, yellow, blue? Diana, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. It will still be a bold red. If you know me, you know I love red. And for me, red really means that we are present. We are here and we're making an impact. So you can expect to see 5,000 businesses being run by people who believe one uniform philosophy, that if they help each other, they can grow. And to achieve that vision, I'm benchmarking from the best countries in the BNI global space. And I've had the opportunity of sitting on inclusive leadership boards at the very top level. And I am learning from them and I'm bringing back those lessons and I'm changing, I'm deliberate about changing mindsets that we can be the best. We can be the best and creating leaders. Because one thing that I've learned is that once you create leaders, you're no longer part of the equation. And new people come in with more amazing ideas and can take your vision even further. once they buy into it and are equipped to do it. And really that's where I'll leave it at. And really, I'll just invite everybody. BNI meetings are online. If you're still enjoying being at home, working from home, log in and be able to experience what it means for Ugandan businesses to support each other and actually generate business. Thank you.
Wow, Dana, thank you very much. Someone commented in there, they love the way you are always calm. You speak in small letters, you move in small letters, while Alan and I in capital letters. Keep it up, Diana. That's your way. Diana believes we can change our mindsets. We can change something around ourselves, people, ourselves. It goes also through to attitude. What is your attitude about building a vision? What is your mindset? Is it possible or it is not? Take that question to yourself. Okay, ladies, we're about to get into question and answer time. Stella over there is ready. I'm going to take my one last shot on all of you, and I just want one word, only one word. And here we go. Diana, one word that best describes your vision.
Transformational.
Transformational, there Diana goes. Transformational is how one word. Okay, Sherry, one word that best describes your vision.
Ubuntu. Ubuntu bulamu.
Ubuntu. How will I put it in English? We have people from
It doesn't have
over.
an English. It doesn't have an English equivalent. It's too heavy for English.
Okay, Sherry says Ubuntu. I can say being humane. Bring the humaneness in. I can take it that way. Humaneness.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rita, too. Humaneness, Ubuntu. All right, Alan, one word that best describes your vision.
Allow me to hashtag, because I asked some sisters and they gave me, just allow me to hashtag fired up, sisters keeper, nurturing, power of the collective, building confidence, breaking ceilings. I'm hashtagging all of those and more. That's Girls for Girls.
Alan, I don't know how I somehow guessed that you wouldn't have one word. She had to hashtag all of them. You're so amazing, Alan. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you very much, all of us who are in this call at the fireside. This is the heat. This is the warmth that is going to help us to build our vision. We're getting into the question and answer moment. Any question to these ladies, please channel it through the chat. If you want to put your hand up, Stella is going to handle this session. Thank you very much. It's been Debbie. I'll come over to you after the question and answer. Thank you very much.
Oh my
Stella,
goodness.
over to you.
First of all, a round of applause for the panelists and the super energetic moderator. Debbie, you're in the wrong profession. I think you should be a corporate MC. Build that vision. I am right behind you, cheering you on. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Belinda from Zambia is saying we should have a G4G quote handbook because the quotes in this session, they're full of fire. Don't work for applause. Yeah, but work for a cause. Fantastic. So we'll just go right into the questions. And I'll start with Diana's question, and I will throw this to Diana, your namesake. And she's asking, what advice do you have for women and girls who like to make themselves better or to take the right decision but don't know how? Diana?
So the first answer is join Girls for Girls, where we say the leadership, it's a leadership space which speaks to you and you can grow there, but you will also build a village who will work with you to help you find your strength to make the right decisions and how. But most importantly, I will say, for me, it's been continuous learning. I learn from the best. I read a lot. And if I'm struggling in an area, I will read up on it. And the beautiful thing now with Google, there's so much free material. So imagine yourself on a quest and begin saying, what will it look like? Paint that picture of what it will look like for you to be better. What do you mean by better? Speak better, show up better. How? So begin to paint that picture and ask for help. And Girls for Girls is here for you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Diana. And Diana, the one who asked the question, there's a link going through in the chat room, everybody. So if you want to join Girls for Girls, all the information is there as a mentor, as a mentee. You're most welcome. Fantastic. So let's go to Alan. Mary Helda is asking, I also like to keep my word, just like you said, but sometimes it's very difficult because she finds herself in situations that are very uncomfortable. So how do you keep true to yourself and also true to your word? Alan?
Thank you, Mary Hilda. Thank you, Stella. Mary Hilda, I'm so proud of you. One of those young, driven girls with Fundi bots or Fundi. I read, and you are with Zimba now with Fundi you do. Hilda, one of the things we teach girls is that all girls need to know you have choices. You have options and you have choices. We never want girls to feel like they are between up and they can't move away. So the starting point for me, the starting premise, know that you always have choices to back out, to move out, to decline and say, sorry, I cannot do it. So if you're in a space where you're feeling you're being taken advantage of, or you're feeling the values are no longer aligning to your values, you don't have to stay true to your word to say, I will work with you, I'll do it. Except from that, excuse from yourself from it. Don't be in a space where you feel you're totally not aligned. Your values are not aligned, and you feel you're not in the right space. So that's one of the ways I would do it. But we also teach you negotiation skills in Girls for Girls. That's one of the critical skills many girls struggle with: how to communicate your message, how to negotiate for yourself and for others.
Thank you so much, Alan. Stay true to yourself no matter what, and there is a way to work around it. Use negotiation and be driven by your values. Thank you so much. Scovia is asking, and this goes to Sherry. She started a business selling raw organic shea butter, but is looking to enlarge the market for these products from 2 clients to many. Any advice?
Oh, okay. Hi, Scovia. That's really brave what you're doing. Anyone, I recently posted on Twitter, there is nothing small. I hate that term small business because there's nothing small in getting up in the morning, having an idea and putting yourself out there, because it takes a lot of bravery to put your idea, your product, you're putting yourself in front of so much judgment. It takes so much courage to do that. So kudos to you. You're doing shea butter and you have 2 customers already. So there's proof of value for what you're selling. How to grow that from beyond the 2? Ask for feedback. How have the 2 enjoyed your shea butter? It's raw shea butter. Is it for or is it for cooking? Have them review your product. Then share these reviews. Share with because I'm sure you know more than 2 people. You have, they say in business when you're starting, the 3 Fs. You have family, friends, and fools. Those are the first 3 places for you to experiment. So your family, your friends, then fools, post on the internet. Say, I have this shea butter, I have reviews from these 2 people, this is what I'm selling it to you. Try and talk it up, brand it well, package it well, and then take it up from there. Also, I'd like to plug myself. We are running a business development class. You can write to us if you want to join that class for people like you, Scovia, how to take your shea butter from 2 to 2 million.
Fantastic. And on that note, Sharifa, many people are asking, how do we join Zimba
Women?
Yes, all those trainings you've talked about. We have Christine on the chat room asking the same question. Scovia is here asking the same question. So many women.
Yeah.
Please,
so just write to us at info@zimbawomen.org or just on any of our social media. We'll find you. I have a really good team. We'll respond to you and definitely we'll engage from there on.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. If you can just help us type that email in the chat room.
Yeah,
I'm very grateful. Okay, over to Diana. Diana, you said that in the next 10 years, the way you plan to grow BNI is through transforming mindsets. So there's a question from Nabila. And Nabila is joining us all the way from Kuwait. Is the Uganda culture individual or team-based? Are you flowing within the culture or changing it for the girls? Diana?
So I will say Uganda culture, as Sharifa said, is very much an Ubuntu culture. where we look out for each other and we live in extended families. However, I will say for the leadership aspects for G4G, it's a change, it's a fundamental change, because what G4G is about, it's about empowering girls and women to take action. Unfortunately, the culture, most of the cultures in Uganda do not have women at the table when it comes to decision making, or do not have women participation actively in many spheres of public and private life. So this G4G idea that women can actually have a choice, women can begin to believe that their dreams can come true and work towards achieving their dreams, and can begin to negotiate for space. I think Beyonce said, if the table doesn't have a chair for you, make a chair and bring it to the table. And if that table is full, make another table and invite people to sit around it with you. So I think that's what I will say, that's the change that we're creating. And because it starts with each of us in the spaces we are, in the communities in the families and communities we are part of. Definitely, sometimes there's a question of why this, why now? But when we draw it back to the fact that every woman has a dream, and if you're alive, it's worth living your dream. I mean, why would you live without living your dream or seeking your purpose and doing everything to achieve it? So fantastic. I think that's what I'll say.
Thank you so much, Diana, for drawing out those insights. We'll stay with you because people are very interested about BNI. South Africa, there's a lady from South Africa, Karabo, and she's asking, does BNI only support Ugandan businesses? Anita is asking, how does one join BNI? Olga, how do you become a BNI member? BNI.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Stella. So I've answered those questions also in the question and answer chat bar, but BNI is a global brand. It's in over 70 countries. Unfortunately, it's in South Africa. So the easiest way to reach out to a BNI chapter is going online. If you're in Uganda, bniuganda.com. If you're in South Africa, bnisouthafrica.com. If you're in Kenya, bnikenya.com. It's not in many countries around Africa. And I would love to engage a woman on taking BNI to their country. As a Southern African politician said, if he can did it, we can also do it. There.
Okay, fantastic. If you can did it, we can did it too. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Diana. This goes to Alan, and I'll combine a question from Baka, who asks, how do you stay motivated? But also from Maria, who says, I want to ask about bouncing back. I was riding high at one point and then one event set me back. I'm trying to regain that confidence and enthusiasm, but I'm struggling. I'm clear about what I want, but stepping forward is difficult.
Thank you so much, and thanks for those questions. How do I stay motivated? As I've said, my personality is bubbly, but I've had sad moments. I've shared about these moments when I separated, when I've had maybe my children. I've not been around at times. I had to leave my children, but I try to stay motivated. And for me, my sisterhood is part of that motivation. I have friends staying over at my place every time. They come over for a night, spend the night here. We talk, we cry, we laugh. We have a glass here and there, and we celebrate because being alone, it can be too much at times on one. So for me, the sisterhood motivates me. It keeps me going. For instance, just last week, my sister Birunji came for a sleepover, and Diana also came for a sleepover. In fact, one of the dreams I always used to have when I was much younger, because I'm a lawyer and I worked with women's rights and, always seeing women really troubled. Florence always comes here for sleepovers. I always wanted to set up my sister's place, a place where you can just go for comfort. And my home, I'm so happy it's my sister's place. So people come in, we have a joke, we laugh, we share the things we're struggling with, like parenting. It's not easy to parent, and how do you do it? So motivation, sisterhood, but I also exercise a lot. When I don't exercise, I'm down. So these days I used to exercise in the evening, but because this Zoom has taken over our life, I now exercise in the morning. At 7 a.m. I'm up, I dance in my living room, or I walk to my neighbor's Anita's home, I dance with her sister for 1 hour, we sweat a lot, Endorphins are released, I'm happy, and the day goes on. The second question was, how do you bounce back? Of course, I've had setbacks, but one thing I've learned about myself, and that's why I asked you to ask yourself who you are. One thing I've learned, I'm very, very pragmatic. I keep moving. I've had setbacks that have made me so sad. But one thing I've learned is I don't hold my cheek like this. I don't, I try not to, because at one point in my life, I held my cheek that you wouldn't even want to be near me. I was always bemoaning and mourning what had happened in my life. And it's not a happy place to be. And so I prefer, given a choice, I prefer this one. So how I bounce back again, those same things I've talked about, sisterhood, family. I belong to investment groups. Harriet Mosoke, one of my sisters, and Rachel, another sister, are in different groups that I'm in with them. Those circles help me. They help me. Bouncing back requires you to be deliberate. It requires you to take action. If you sit back in a couch and cry, it doesn't help me. My dad always had a saying, if you think you have problems, my dad was one of the eternal optimists I know, and he really loved education. So he said, if you think you have problems, just peep into the neighbor's compound. You will run back to your home so fast, because if they gave you their problems to carry, you will not even carry a load. Not to belittle your problems, but be deliberate about digging yourself out of that hole. You can do it, and we are here to support you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alan, for that. Don't fall through the cracks, whatever you do. Sharifa, I know you're itching and you are going to loop it in with the comment, but I also want you to loop it in with this question. How do you deal when your family does not believe in your vision? So please chip in what Alan was talking about and also answer that question.
Okay. Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Alan. Alan, I also have a dream. I want to build a women's shelter. Can we align?
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
Yes,
my sister's place. My sister's
yes,
place. I want to do that.
Deeply, like because during Zimba, so many of the sessions, so many things, you feel like these women just need to get away and have a place where they're just loved on, so that they can go out there and face the world again. And we need such a place here. Anyway, back to the question. Alan, we are going to talk about this seriously. It has to be the ground. Yeah. What do you do when family does not support your vision? So when I started, I remember before Zimba, I went full-time to doing the baby store, and everyone was shocked. They were like, how can you leave a job at MTN? Omana was Soma, you have a degree, how, why? So my parents had ideas, why don't you go and do a master's? It seems you're idle and there's something else to do. Then I refused. I was like, no, let me focus on this and finish. And they're like, okay, why don't you go? And they kept coming up with gigs for the longest time. My dad couldn't even tell his peers that I had left my job at MTN, because how was he going to explain that his computer engineer was running a shop? How? Why? No. So every time we went to an event and someone asked him, what is your daughter doing? And he was like, oh, she's at MTN. And I looked at him. I was like, but Daddy, I left 6 months ago. Why are you still running with this lie? But yeah, so in most cases, so many times, family will not be your first support. But with other people, trust me, when you're going through something, there are 5 million other people going through the same thing. So very many people hold your vision, but they've not yet implemented it. And once you start, you will start that movement. People join that movement. It may not be family, it may not be friends, but people will follow you. They will believe in your vision. They will carry your vision. Your disciples, like Jesus had them. Like Alan says, have 5 who carry. They will come and your family will get on board. They will see that, you know, this is something, it's big, it's growing, it's actually making our person very happy. It brings her contentment, it impacts herself, her community, and they will get on board. And then they will become your strongest cheerleaders. Right now, my dad can't stop talking about Zimba. Even if you haven't asked him, he'll tell you, Banange, Omwala wange. Let me tell you what she's doing. So start. That is the important thing. Start, you will get your followers, and then everyone else will get on board. Thank you.
Fantastic, Sherry. It's only when you succeed do you have very many people coming to your vision like a moth to light, isn't it? Yes, many people love the sleepover idea. My sister's place. We cannot wait to have this magnanimous sleepover. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so let's go to another question to Dana. What advice would you give to somebody who wants to work with others to achieve a vision, but are scared of sharing with others? Before you come in, I'll just share, sometimes building a vision may not be yours, okay? I'll give you an example. It was in a networking event. I had written my 2018 goal. I want to mentor women outside the organization that I was working in. And when I was in this networking event, Allen, in her introduction, she says, my name is Allen, I'm from Harvard. We started Girls for Girls, that's it. So sometimes it's not your vision, but the thing you want, somebody else wants it, and you can partner together to grow this vision. And perhaps think about it. If I had started my own Stella Kivila Foundation, it would not have been this big, isn't it? So share your vision. Nobody is going to steal it. It is yours. Diana, what do you think?
Okay, so the advice that I would give, I'm going back to courageous leadership. Because for me, it is, if you know me, I am an introvert. I am not the person you'd expect to be, preaching a cause. But when there's fire in your belly, start with the people who you know will not laugh. I have a friend called Sarah. I drove to her home in December 2013. I told her I was quitting my job and I was going to start this thing called BNI. And she just looked at me and said, if it's what you wish, you start. So I started in a very, very safe place. I confess my sisters came to BNI. I actually have one sister, Christine, who came to BNI 5 years after it was formed. So don't expect everybody to come immediately, but tell the people who you know will not laugh at you, or you fear, or will not throw you out. But you have to bring that fire out. And in courageous leadership, we say, when we talk about navigating point to point, there's a key aspect that she talks about. She says, get out of your small bubble. Look at the world. Whatever that vision is, if it's a vision to serve others or to help others, the people who you're not reaching out to because you're afraid are dying, are suffering, are decaying mentally because you're not able to reach them. If Sherry had said, it's not my burden, I'm running my shop, let me not care for these people. Imagine those 10,000 women, what would their story be today? If they have, if at all they have a story. And one thing we have found is that every woman has a dream. So as Sherry was saying, it's just that you've not shared it. We have a G4G session, which we did with women stone miners. Stone miners in Uganda, they break up big rocks into smaller chips, and these chips are then sold to middlemen who then sell them to contractors for construction. And the lady, Gloria, she's on the chat now, and Sharon, and another, were able to engage with them the principle of courageous leadership. And they realized that, those dreams they had, they could bring to life. So whatever that vision is, the first step is to talk to somebody you trust. And then if you feel it burning in you, you can come. I'm recommending everybody come to G4G because there's a process, there's a conversation, and there's a safe space. Thank you, Stella.
Thank you so much, Diana. And before you go, let me just loop in. We have just 2 more questions to go and we'll call this a wrap. I feel that they need to really be answered. I know we have 3 minutes, overrun by 3 minutes, but we'll be out of here in the next 5 minutes. Diana, there's a young person who is saying that she started a business. She's just winding up university. And she started a business, it's on its feet. She has a team of people, but then she finds a challenge of, she believes, her perception is approaching people to support her business because she's young. So she feels she's not going to get the same opportunities. What do you think about that?
I will say to her, for the longest time when I was a young lawyer, people would walk into the law firm and say, are you the lawyer? And I would say yes. And when I started BNI, I was 33. I had never, ever run a business. I had been employed all my life. I had no experience about engaging business owners on the things that go on in business, but I believed. And so what I'll say to her is, that's a self-limiting belief right now. And the way you empower yourself is to make a list of those partnerships you're looking for, or those people you want to meet. I want you to imagine that lady who walked up to Sharifa, that woman with a baby, with a backpack pulling soap out. Imagine how many rejections she had faced before she met Sharifa, but imagine how she turned Sharifa's life around, because she was able to help Sharifa's purpose and vision to help women come together and come alive. So you might be the answer to someone's dream or purpose to partner with, but you're holding yourself back. So make a list. I always say, what is the next step? What is the first step? And do it. Make a list of the people you want to talk to, and then you can reach out to me, and I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you on how you can make that first conversation. But in G4G, we also talk about negotiation and communication, key skills if you want to grow your business, if you want to partner with people. So you're welcome. Thank you, Stella.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you so much for also offering after session advice as well. To Sharifa, you have the vision, you have the dream, but you fear letting go. So you left a very good job to go to the unknown area of business. Is a question from Peace, and she's asking, how do you deal with that, yet you have to sustain a family? Sharifa?
Hello again. Thank you, Stella. You're really doing a good job moderating this Q&A session. I'm enjoying it, even though I'm on the panel. How do you essentially, I'd like to say Zimba has a strong social component, but at the end of the day, it's still a business. So we have to provide before you leave your job. And I don't like all these people who are going around telling people, leave your job, start a business. One, not everyone is actually meant to run a business. Very few people. That's why most businesses fail in their first year of birth. It's a very grim statistic, but it is a true one. You have to sit within yourself. Can I sell? First of all, that's the one thing that I ask people before they step out into just business. Can you sell? Can you sell to me a pen? Because you're going to be selling whatever it is. It's a service, it's a solution, it's a product. Can you sell? Then if you can sell, that means you can put something on the table. You will be able to sustain yourself. Before I left my job at MTN, I told myself, the store then was online strictly. I didn't have a physical location. And I told myself, if this store makes at least 500,000 Uganda shillings, that's the amount that I needed to just sustain myself, I will quit this job. So I made sure that month I pushed on Facebook. I was calling everyone who was pregnant. Do you need this? I was sharing those products up and down. And in that 1 month, October, I remember October 2014, I made 800,000. I was like, this is the sign. Let me leave. So I left when I knew that there was a plan of sustainability. I didn't just leave into space to start figuring things out. And then from then on, I could see that there's this thing that it can sustain me, and then I can find ways to build it up. Because trust me, you cannot build it will be very hard to build a business from a place of poverty. You'll be forced to chase things that are not of value because you need to eat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharifa, for being so candid and real about this situation. Thank you so much. Our last question goes to Alan. And the question is, so you have this vision. We've said it's going to be tough. We are prepared to fight to get this vision off the ground. But there's something called work life, family life. There are children looking at you. How do you balance?
Sisters, how many of you have touched the end of the rainbow? I want you to raise your hand or something, put in the chat if you've touched the end of the rainbow, or if you've found that unicorn, the proverbial unicorn. Sisters, if you're looking for work-life balance, you're looking for a mythical thing. My advice to you, Farah is raising her hand. Farah is my beautiful sister. She's in the US. She's from Zimbabwe and she lives in the US. We studied together at Harvard as well. Sisters, for me, that mythical thing is not there. And at a big stage in my life, I was so pained that I'm not having the work-life balance. Oh my God, I'm not looking after the kids. Oh my God, this is suffering. And you know that you can spend your life in that moment when you're just saying, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. Sisters, let us stop looking for that mythical thing. The advice I always give sisters, be where you are in that moment and give it your 100%. I've struggled, of course, with the kids. My daughter always saying, Alan, you're always with the girls for girls. Rather, mommy, you're always with girls for girls. So now I am trying to learn to get off girls for girls on my work and talk to her. That's in the evenings when I come back. I have to deal with Zimbabwe, Zambia, Niger, Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, global. I have to deal with all those. You don't know how many WhatsApp groups I'm on. I think they're like 100. So for just for girls. So for me, what I've tried to do, and I speak with a certain amount of years in my 40s and wisdom. For those of you in your 30s, in your 20s, please do not look for the mythical work-life balance. What I would advise you, where you are, be there. If you're in something, give it your 100%. When you go home, try to give it your 100%. When you're at work, give it your 100%. If you go to my workplace, no one can even complain that I'm not there. I give it 110% when I am at work. I am there. And when I'm with girls for girls, I try to give it 100%. What I'm now trying to do better is to split that at home with my daughters, especially my son. My son is online and my daughter has been online. I try to ensure that let me give them more time. Let me create time for my kids. They should come first in my work. But then they're also teenagers now with their own lives. So when I want to have time with them, they now have their own business. So I'm now trying to tell them, you people, also me come and we'll be together. But my advice, do not look for the mythical rainbow called work-life balance. Just try to live life in the moment. What you're doing, where you are, give it your 100%.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alan, for saying the truth. I had a quote recently that said that you can have everything, not just at the same time. Yeah, you can have everything that you want, but not at the same time. So be present in the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the 5th fireside chat. Can you imagine 2 hours, 2.25 hours just flew by because we were having a conversation around the fireside. Thank you so much for joining us from all parts of the world. We really appreciate you. If you have anything to ask about Girls for Girls, there's a link going through. Patricia in the background has been so amazing in terms of making sure that our technology is working. Primera Mudoni has been our technical team, making sure that we are broadcasted live and the technology doesn't fail. So throw some flowers to this, the Tech Whiz team behind the Girls for Girls Fireside Chat. Very, very proud of you. And thank you so much for joining us today. Special thanks to the panelists. You have been amazing. I learned every single time. The moderator was on fire. We have been fired up. Debbie, do you have a final remark?
Wow. Thank you, Stella, my energizer. Thank you to the panelists, to the audience from all over the world. You've been with us. This was our 5th fireside. Look out for the next one. It will be more fiery. We have gentlemen following us on YouTube and Facebook. I have a word for them. A man with a dream needs a woman with a vision. Don't throw away the woman with a vision. Take them on. The women here have visions. And then my last quote to you from the Bible, Proverbs 29, where there is no vision, people perish. Vision without execution is hallucination. Let us all go out and execute. Flowers to everybody that has been following us. Thank you very much and have a good time, good weekend, and please stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Vision without execution is hallucination. Awesome. We can talk forever, but my last remarks are the magnitude of how your vision expands or shrinks is based on your courage. So fear will get in the way, but I really want you to do it afraid. We are here on the fireside chat because it was a dream, because I decided to build a vision within a vision. So how about you? Whatever you have in your heart, there's somebody looking for it. You can be a solution to the masses. Go and make it happen. Limitless, take the limits off. God bless you and see you on the next Fireside Chat on 9th October 2020. Bye.